This tutorial will guide you through creating sales orders. To create a sales order, first click Sales at the top of your screen, then Sales Orders on the left. To add a new sales order, click the Add button on the lower right-hand portion of your screen. This will bring up the Create a Sales Order wizard. The first item that you'll see is the sales order status, which is Estimate. All sales orders begin in Estimate status. We'll talk about the other statuses later. The next field is Sales Order Type, which defaults to rental or lease. You can also sell your inventory out of the Darby system, but for right now we'll leave it at rental or lease. The order date should be the date you are staging the property. So click the calendar and then select the date that you're staging. If you happen to know the expected return date, for example, if your client has signed a 30 or a 60-day contract with you, you can enter that date. Otherwise, leave it blank. For customer, you can simply start typing in the customer name, and it will bring up a list of the matches for that customer. Or if you're just beginning to use Darby, it's probably a new customer. To add a new customer, click the green plus sign. This will bring up the Add a Customer wizard. Then simply add your customer's information. For our example, we'll add Denise Whitman with Kentwood City Properties. You can add a comment for the customer or leave it blank. Then click Next. If you have your customer's contact information, enter that here. Then click Next. The billing address is where you would actually send the invoices. And if you don't have this information when you're creating your sales order, you can always enter it later. Click Next to get to shipping address. The shipping address is the address of the house you're staging. And it may be the same. Click Finish, and you'll see that the new customer has been added. For sales order number, we automatically generate a number for you beginning at 1. If that's okay, you can leave that field blank, or you can enter your own sales order number. If your client requires a customer purchase order number, enter that number here. We're going to leave Summarize Invoices unchecked, and we'll talk about that later as well. Click Next, and you'll see that the information you entered for the customer defaults for the sales order. You can begin entering your items in step 4 of the wizard, but I actually like to finish out the wizard at this point and then reopen the sales order for more functionality. To open the sales order, just double click. Now you can see you have a full screen as well as additional options at the top. There are several ways you can add your inventory items to a sales order, and we'll go through each one of them. The first way is through this Quick Add bar. In the Quick Add bar, you can begin entering the name of the item if you know it. For example, Madison Sofa. Again, it will bring up a list of matches that you can select from. You can tab over to change the quantity, or just hit Enter and the item will be added. In the Quick Add bar, you can either enter a name, you can enter the barcode, or you can enter the description of the item. So if you're not sure what the item is, but you know what it looks like, you can start typing a description. So I'll say brown sofa, and as you can see, it brings up a Nalia sofa. So those are the 3 ways that you can use the Quick Add bar. Another way to add items to your sales order is through the Add button on the lower left. This is not a whole lot different, but a couple things that I want to point out. Again, you can start typing in the name, description, or the barcode of the item. One of the things that I want to point out, however, is if the item is not in Darby yet, you can actually enter it right on the fly by clicking the green plus button. This launches the Add a Product wizard where you can go ahead and enter the item without leaving the sales order. See the products tutorial for information on adding your inventory items. In this screen, you can also assign the room where this item is going to be located in the house. So just select the room from the drop-down list. You can make any other changes that you need to and click Save. So that is another way to add your items to your sales order. A third way actually involves leaving the sales order, so we'll close it by clicking Save in the lower right-hand portion of your screen. Then click Inventory, and here you can search for your item. So for example, say you're not really sure what it's called, you're not exactly sure what you want to add, so maybe you want to search for some items to see if you even have them in stock or what you have in stock. So we'll search for art for this example, and it will bring up all of my art pieces that I have in the system and tell me exactly what I have on hand, as well as you can see your photos right from here. So I'll select this piece of art by single clicking, and then in the lower middle portion of your screen, click Add to Sales Order. Then you can start typing either the name or the address, and it will bring up a list of matches. Select the appropriate sales order and click OK. That will bring up the same Add Sales Order item. You can select a room if you'd like to do that, or you can do that later. Click Save, and now you'll see that that item is in the sales order, medium blue birds art. I'm going to close it one more time to show you another thing. Go back to Inventory, select another piece of art, for example, and then click Add to Sales Order again. This time, the same sales order is defaulted. That way you don't have to keep typing and reselecting the sales order. So if I add this piece of art, I'll just say OK, click Save, click Sales again to go back to my sales orders, and then double click to open up the sales order. So now the large vintage plain art has been added as well. So that is 3 ways that you can add your sales order items. Of course, you can also scan your items in. To scan items, you'll click the Scan button on the lower right, and I'll just emulate some barcodes here. So we'll pretend that I scanned in green-T1. I'll hit OK or Enter, and you'll see the scan was OK. So you would repeat the process of scanning each item. If you scan an item that's not in the system, it will let you know that as well. When you're done scanning your items, you just click OK to return to the sales order. We have built a lot of functionality into the scanning piece, so please see the barcodes tutorial for more information on scanning.